Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to the Collegiate Star League. Tonight we open up our week of our final week of regular season Hearthstone cast. We have one match on tap from Group 6. On one end, we have the 4-1 St. John's. With a win tonight, they can move up to the number one seed in their group since they own the tiebreaker with Colombia. Meanwhile, Marist will be looking to join the mix as they're one spot out of the playoffs, but with a win, it can boost them up into the top four of their table. So it should be an exciting match tonight. Of course, I'm Nomo Dogan, joined by Chandyland. How are you doing tonight, Chandy?
I'm doing great, Nomo.
That's
I'm
good to hear.
ready for tonight's matches. So it's actually pretty high stakes for both of these schools, right?
Yeah, I think so. As I believe the loser isn't going to make it in the playoffs, or
So
wait,
it
they'll
looks
just get.
like St. John's needs this to not play their tiebreaker, and while Marist needs this to even make the playoffs at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I mean, as usual, you just kind of want to get the win whenever you can, but yeah, it's especially important right here as you want it to pan out properly for the rest of the time, like the playoffs. So,
Right.
and of course, we'd like to thank Twitch and Azus ROG for sponsoring us here at CSL. Asus is the presenting sponsor of the CSL this year. They make some of the world's best gaming PCs, laptops, and monitors. And Asus is funding this season's travel to DreamHack and our prize pool for the year. So be sure to follow their social medias like at Asus_RG and thank them for sponsoring the CSL. Alright, and I guess we are about ready to jump into our first game whenever the players are ready.
All right. Let's just take a minute and let our players queue up. So first up, we're going to be having Phone Tap from St. John's University, a pretty well-known name in the scene, and their team has been doing very well overall already. So I'm excited to see how they'll do tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, yeah, Phone Tap has been around for a while. He's had a few good showings in some events, and I believe he's been a streamer a good amount, and yeah, we've seen him last season. I remember watching him play, and yeah, it's good to have him back. We'll see how he does this evening if he's even playing. Because I feel like sometimes he was just the coordinator and didn't even end up playing. But
Yeah. And sometimes it's kind of rough where it's not really rough. If your team ends up 3-0ing, you can't be sad, right? But if it happens a lot of times, sometimes your maybe your last two players don't get to play very often. I mean,
right,
so what we did when I played in CSLs is we tried to rotate for that reason. We wouldn't want someone to just not play every week.
yeah, for sure. It does look like Phone Tap will be the first player for St. John's, so he is in fact going to be playing.
All right, so we'll start off our match with Phone Tap from St. John University's Red Storm versus Marist College's Avulo.
All right, sounds good. Should be another intense match this evening, or series of matches. Alrighty, looks like Phone Tap is on Warlock versus Avula's Warrior.
All right. So pretty strong opening from Avulu here, but Phone Tap's got the answer to break through this. Unfortunately for him, he's gonna have to sacrifice both the egg and his 2/2, but also not the worst because he can also develop the shield bearer here and prevent his Nerubian from getting killed off by potential Dustbite.
Yeah. Dark Peddler, probably not what you want to see off of a Death Lord. Wow, Gorehowl. That's an exotic choice these days. I guess Enhanced Mechano is a somewhat exotic choice in and of itself as well.
Right. Yeah, I've actually really been liking Enhanced Mechano. It feels like it like when it first came out. I feel like not a lot of people thought much of it because it seems like kind of like a win more card, or you need to have a lot of board for it to be even relevant. Because it's so overcosted for its stats. But the thing is, in decks like Zoo, if you can get even 2 Wind Furies off of it, it's actually insane.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of great situations for it later in the game. If you just have 2 or 3 minions on board, or if you have more than that, then it gets pretty ridiculous with the things it can do. Looking at Avula's hand, he had a couple of different options on that turn. He ended up deciding just to armor up and shield slam. Chose not the shield block, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I guess he has another shield slam somewhere in this deck and he wants to have the armor ready to go, but I feel like against a Zoo deck, you want to just draw as soon as possible and find other answers, or maybe something like Brawl, but
Right.
perhaps Avula just feels like he has the time right now where he can put it off a little bit, get more value out of it, the shield block. But just Scar Drewheart getting drawn now.
Alright, so that'll be a really good turn 6 development if we can help clear up this board a little bit. Vulu's hovering over the bash. Maybe he's thinking about bashing off one of these minions here. He could also just shield block and see what he gets. Because again, we can't just keep clearing single minions, right? We gotta look for this brawl at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're just going 1 for 1 against the minions of Zoo, you're definitely going to fall behind because a lot of them have some good value, death rattles, or things along those lines. So Brawl will definitely be necessary here at some point. Or maybe the Gorehowl. I mean, if he has enough health to spare, he can definitely just use Gorehowl to smack down the minions.
Alright. That Gorehowl is probably gonna end up doing a lot of work here. Unfortunately, this Lothab is gonna block him from clearing off this board, even if he happens to pick up the brawl here. So it looks like he's just gonna draw the Justicar on curve. And
Yeah.
Phone Tap has the option of even dropping his Sea Giant here, but question is, does he suspect Avulu of having a brawl?
I mean, at this point, you got to be thinking about it. So, as a Zoo player, I would probably try to play around it as much as possible.
Yeah. And so Phone Tap's board isn't actually the greatest brawl either. If he develops both the Creeper and the Sea Giant and just like goes, let's say he goes all face. Worst case, Avulu brawls, and either Lothab or Sea Giant living is really, really good. And then even if they don't, then you have your Nerubian, you have your spiders to follow up.
Right.
It's like he is gonna take the trade into the Justicar here and just go face the Lothab.
Yeah, seems fine to me. Plenty of options, but I think this is pretty good to hedge a little bit against the brawl while also applying a lot of pressure with like Sea Giant.
Right.
But there's a big game hunter. My my spectator client started to make a lot of the cards invisible and a lot of other weird things. I'm having a couple of internet issues tonight, so it's pretty interesting right now just seeing what happens with the spectator client. But wow, Sylvanas Windrunner picked up.
Yeah, not exactly the card you want to see in this situation. But I mean, Avula does have the Gorehal in hand for whatever big threats start coming out. I think we're most likely to be seeing the Doctor Boom dropped here. We already saw one big game hunter from Avulu. He doesn't have enough armor to shield slam. Well, actually, he's got the tank up, so he could shield slam the boom if he picked up a second shield slam.
Yeah, that would have been pretty strong. I mean, I think Sylvanas is actually like pretty good against Zoo.
Yeah.
If you have enough health. I mean, if you're already really low, then it's not
Right.
great, but it helps get the board control back if you're having some issues with that.
Yeah. So what do I think we're gonna do here? Are we gore howling this Doctor Boom?
Wow.
Seems
Yeah, I
like
mean, it
pretty good
looks like
value. You're taking a lot of damage, but I mean, it's one swing of your weapon for taking out a 7 drop. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, if Avulo finds enough ways to gain life and continue to survive over these next few turns, Gorehowl can pick up a lot of value, just like it normally does in like situations like that. But I feel like Phone Tap might be able to pressure enough where I mean I guess Avulo won't exactly get punished because he would end up taking that damage anyways, but uh yeah, I mean I think Phone Tap might be able to just pressure him to death here if he doesn't find like a brawl soon.
Right. Oh man. And what is we got triple Wind Fury here. That's insane. So we're gonna get 10
Yeah.
damage in from this Lothab, another 4 and 2 from the Boombots. Is there potential lethal here?
Well, next turn. Or, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just next turn.
Yeah, next turn it's gonna be pretty hard to get out of the situation with the 2 Boombots on the board. Like, how are you gonna reduce this damage? And Avula hasn't even found a brawl yet.
Yeah, it seems like he's gonna hope to slam to find a miracle draw, but I'm not sure what's gonna save him here. Like, he could slam to draw, Sludge Belcher, Armor Up, or Tank Up.
Man.
Or
So
he
Avula
could,
just goes into that Boombot there.
yeah. Alright, looks like Bash. I mean, he could use 2 slams and then use his Gorehowl on the Argus and
Right.
tank up. And hopefully the Boombot doesn't do much damage.
Right.
That does seem like a pretty good play to win, though, rather than just playing Sludge Belcher.
Okay, it's gonna use his weapon to take out the 2-2 instead. So it looks like he's just gonna be developing the Belcher this turn.
Yeah, this is weird. I mean, if he wanted to bash, I don't like this.
Oh,
I
and that
guess,
is definitely lethal with
yeah,
the
wow.
Leroy top deck.
Leroy.
Pretty sure it was also lethal without it. We had the Implosion, we had the Dire Wolf, and we have 2 Wind Fury minions, so.
Leroy is like sometimes in the back of your head when you're playing against a deck like this, but
Right.
yeah, there he is, the man himself, ready
Yeah,
to
so
go.
this is like the new variation of Zoo that has been popularized lately. It's I think it actually originated on the Chinese servers, but yeah, it runs Sea Giants and Leroy instead of Doom Guards. There's actually no Doom Guards in this deck typically.
Yeah, that sounds right. Um, but yeah, this is gonna be Phone Tap taking the win here to start St. John's lead 1-0 in this series.
All right.
We're going to be moving up to our game 2. Once these players are ready, we're going to have Winston JCOM versus I Piss on Cats. I mean, interesting name.
Yeah, what a name. All right.
I think we can just call them cats. We can get
Yeah,
over that.
let's just call them cats. But yeah, all right. So looks like our second players are getting ready.
It'll be interesting to see what these players bring. I mean, with a name like that, I would expect something like Smork Hunter, Smork Shaman, just based on Katz's name.
Oh yeah,
For some reason, it just, I don't know. I feel like that'd be the kind of person to do that, you know?
yeah,
I mean, a lot of
I
us
could see
play the
it.
Smork decks a lot of the time, but those people who have only ever played Smork decks and never never try anything different. They're stuck in their ways, sitting there drinking Red Bull all night, smorking it up their computer. And then when they lose, they're like throw the monitor across the room and then they go and get their cat. And no, let's not talk about that part.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't know about the last part.
I mean, where did he get the name from? But anyways, let's not get too off topic here. I mean, with uh with respect to the players, even though, maybe like I'm not expecting. But yeah, I'm just getting a little off topic here, but let's get focused again.
Right.
I
Looks
mean,
like our
legitimate
players are
choices.
still waiting to queue up here. But yeah, I can see maybe this is like a next level strategy that your opponent will crack up so much reading your name that they'll be thrown off guard.
Yeah, or you tilt them, maybe they're a cat lover and they're just like, "Come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with this guy?"
All
But
right. So again, we have from St. John's University's Red Storm, we have Winston J. Com versus Marist College's I Piss on Cats.
all right, we're gonna have another zoo sort of deck, it looks like. Leper Gnome. Starting things off. And he's got a Nerubian Egg or Dark Bomb to follow up, plus an Impiang Boss for later on. Winston Jcom is just going to choose to coin Hero Power to deal with that
Right.
Leper Gnome.
Right. So it's actually a pretty decent hand for Druid against Zoo. He's got the Wrath, he's got the Swipe, he's even got the Innervate. Okay. Um so not much for Winston J. Com to do here, just gonna hero power on two. He can, however, potentially innervate out the Loatheb next turn, which is really strong against Zoo. I Piss on Cats is just gonna go with the Imp Gang boss.
Yep, seems fine to me.
Interesting. So I Piss on Cats, do you see his deck right now? He's got a Leroy and a Dr. Boom in hand. So it kind of looks like the same deck that Phone Tap was playing, with the exception of the Dark Bomb. It's not something we usually see in Zoo decks.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just saw the like the Leroy in the last game, but yeah, with Dr. Boom and with the Soulfire, are these cards part of that like that Chinese list you were talking about?
No, they're usually not, which is. I'm wondering, is this actually a Zoo list? Is this kind of like a hybrid
Yeah,
or a Reno list?
maybe it's
It could very well be a Reno list because we know that the Reno combo log actually does run the Leroy Jenkins, but the only inconsistency would be the egg.
yeah, that I mean that is kind of weird, but I mean maybe this is just some deck that Cat's made on his own, and just wanted to mix a few things up. Yeah, like a hybrid deck.
All right. Is he
I mean,
not living up to your Smork expectations?
I mean, he kind of is. Soulfire, Leroy Jenkins, that's pretty smart.
What if there was a surprise Reno in there? Would you be disappointed?
Maybe a little bit. If there is a surprise Reno, maybe he's just like, oh dang it, there's all these other Smork decks. I need to have my Reno ready to go, which I've seen face decks that randomly have a Reno. Like and
That's pretty
I've been
great.
pretty disappointed because like I was playing Freeze Mage once and I was like against a face hunter and then all of a sudden a Reno pops out and it was like, man, this is not my night because I was already like losing a bunch of games in a row. But
Right. Those are the best when it's like you didn't expect it to be a Reno deck because their deck wasn't particularly strange or anything, and then suddenly it's like back to full health, and it's like, well, wasn't ready for that.
I guess I deserve to lose this. I don't know. You got me. I mean,
Alright, so Winston J. Com's gonna go with the Belcher here over the Swipe. The Swipe doesn't accomplish very much here, so I do like that. Um, and I Piss on Cat draws a second Dark Bomb, so I don't think we'll be seeing a Reno in this deck, but this is actually, it's really interesting. It's kind of like a really burn-heavy Zoo.
yeah, this is starting to make me wonder if he has like a Blood Mage Thanos in here. I wonder if he plays like Mortal Coil and just like a minion with
Yeah,
spell damage.
because Zoo with double Dark Bombs and Soulfire. That Soulfire didn't come out from Dark Peddler. That's actually in his deck.
Yep.
So it just leaves us wondering, what else is in this deck?
Yeah, this is like the burn variant of Zeo,
Right.
where you just want to get the game over with at one point. Like, yeah, maybe he doesn't have Doom Guards either. Um, it'll be interesting to see if he does or not.
So this is a pretty good swipe for Winston J. Column. He can clear off this whole board, and he can even tempo out that BGH if he wants to, or he can just choose maybe to cycle the Wrath.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about swiping or c- cycling the Wrath earlier this game, like on turn two, but
Right.
yeah, the swipe does look great here, and he can
Oh, it's actually
engage
just gonna
his.
offer the hero power.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
this is interesting. I mean, I guess he wants to hold on to the 3 damage removal, but I feel like the draw would have been
Right.
nice.
He might be thinking, oh, I have the Ancient of Lore in hand for cycle. Maybe I can just save the Wrath for removal.
Yeah, that's true. Second Leper Gnome picked up for Mr. Katz here.
Alright, so the Innervate is actually a pretty good draw for Winston J. Com. If he wants to, he can actually do both drawing with the Ancient of Lore and then innervating out the Big Game Hunter. If he wants to do that, though, he's probably going to want to do these trades first into the Boombot.
Yeah, I like trading the 1/1 first, just because then if the Boombot hits your other minion for one, it's not dead, so you'd still get to kill it, but it
Right.
works out either way. It's a minor consideration. It's like a 50-50 to get punished there, actually,
Right.
but I don't like using the innervate before the lore. I mean, I guess you might as well, but like you're definitely gonna
Yeah.
BGH, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If it was like another random play, then might have wanted to save the innervate, but
Right.
big game hunter into a 7/7, yeah, you're not gonna pass that up.
Right. You see the Dark Bomb come out here and the Leper Gnome. So we saw that Ipison Cats actually picked up an Enhanso too. So I'm not sure. Maybe this is just like a really aggressive version of that Enhanso Zulus that we saw Vontat play earlier.
Yeah, just looking to get revenge with it, as well as a bunch of burn damage. Maybe this is just a list that neither of us have seen that's been played lately. Maybe we're just out of the loop here.
Yeah, so alright. So Winston J. Com, I don't know if he suspects the amount of burn that's in Ipison Cass's hand, but there's actually quite a bit of it.
Yeah, imagine if he had Theracin or something to play the turn
Right.
before this. Then he could Leroy and Enhanso and play both the burn spells in one turn. Maybe he'll just end up playing Leroy and Enhanso McKenna this next turn anyways. Because then if he gets Wind Fury on the Leroy, he'd be able to finish his opponent off with just burn. But we'll see. Winston Jacom just deciding to Piloted Shredder and Shade and Hero Power, I think. Looks like my spectator client needs to be reset.
Alright. So, almost certainly Winston J. Com has lethal set up for next turn. So how far is I Piss on Cats actually from lethal? He picked up with his second power overwhelming, so he's actually got a crap ton of damage in hand. So with Leroy power overwhelming, he can actually cast everything. Leroy power overwhelming, Soulfire, and Dark Bomb. Is that enough damage though? So that's 10, 14, 17, 19. It's actually 1 damage off lethal.
Yeah,
That's
I was
gotta
thinking it's
hurt.
going up. So close. And now you have to
Yeah,
be worried about Druid's combo, and oh man,
right.
blowing Zap-O-Matic.
And I actually think we have to enhance and pray for a taunt here. And that's a taunt on the 1/1, but it's not going to be enough to save him from this combo that's going to be coming next turn.
Yep. Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think there's much he could do about it there, though. Yeah, he was just 1 damage off lethal. So close.
Right, and that's going to be a quick 2-0 for St. John's University.
Yeah, a strong showing here. I mean, taking the moment's due and then taking the I mean, I don't know if this matchup is as difficult as normal Zoo. Like since this version of Zoo has about a lot of burn spells, can't really build up the board as much as it normally would. Like he maybe cut Argus or something. I mean, he has to cut something for these cards, right? But
Right.
we didn't see any Arguses that game. There's probably something else he might have ended up
I
cutting
think
too.
he very well might have cut Argus in his deck. That looks like a super aggressive version of the Chinese zoo that we had seen earlier. So I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if he had actually just forgone the Argus and gone for more burn.
Yeah, so yeah, wow. I mean, I feel like that makes it a little better for the Druid in that matchup. Uh, just he had burn spells stuck in his hand, like the Leroy was just sitting there, like, hey, I'll do 6 damage at some point, but
Yeah,
not really
again,
useful,
it was
earlier in
very
the
very
game.
close though. The
Yeah,
zoo is 1 damage off lethal. It's gotta hurt.
yeah, it was super close. But yeah, once again, that's gonna be St. John's up 2-0 over Marist. Next up, we're gonna have Rachovsky 2 versus Koss for our game 3. And is this going to be it? I mean, Rachovsky could take the win for his team to end the series 3-0, or Koss could start up a comeback. I mean, we saw a reverse sweep last week, so it's definitely possible for one of these schools to do that.
All right. So again, we're going to be having Rachovsky from St. John's University opening with Shaman and Koss on Paladin. Oh, wow. Do you see the cards in Koss's hand right now, Nomo? That's an interesting Paladin.
Yeah. Murloc Knight, Iron Beak Owl, Equality, and Ysera. I
Are we
mean,
looking at kind of like a control Paladin or a Dragon Paladin? Something different here.
yeah, I think with the Ysera in there, it's probably going to end up being some kind of dragon variant. Or maybe just straight up control. Yeah. Maybe it just has Ysera as the win condition. We see an acidic Swamp Ooze and a Guardian of Kings. Consecration picked up now. Maybe this is Koss's own creation. It's always fun to bring your own interpretation of like what's good right now in the meta, or you can just catch someone off guard with a deck like this that no one really plays. Like everyone plays Secret Paladin. Some people play Anything Can Happen. Some people play like aggro paladin, but this just looks like straight up
Right.
control.
This is definitely different. Oh, actually, so have we seen any dupes yet? This could very well be Reno Paladin.
I mean,
I'm suspicious now that I see like Guardian of Kings.
you're right. Yeah, it could just be Reno. Yeah, I don't think we've seen any two ofs so far. Wow,
I feel
making
like
it
I have the
hero power.
suspicion now because I've been wrecked too many times by people who like drop the surprise Reno on me. Whenever I see some weird cards, I'm very suspicious.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I start to get suspicious too. If like they aren't playing any of the same card, and yeah, if some cards are just like, why are you playing that? It's a weird looking card, like you said,
Right.
but hmm. Kosh definitely feeling the pressure already here on turn 3. But that's what this Burn Shaman deck is all about. I mean, just getting the aggression going and killing your opponent off quickly. If we're gonna
Right.
see the coin consecration, he's got another consecration to follow up next turn.
Okay. So we do see two consecrations in this deck. I'm still not convinced that it's not Reno though. If I would put two cards of Paladin in a deck, I'd probably take consecration or equality.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. I mean, it does make it somewhat less likely, I think, but
Right.
still a possibility.
So are we just going for the ancestral knowledge here? I don't really see a point in the totem because even if you get, so let's say best case healing totem, it doesn't save your board from consecration. So I kind of like just drawing cards here, buffing our try by another two, getting another 2 damage on the face.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just like the best use of mana,
Right.
and hopefully it'll draw you a lava shock, so you'll be able to remove those crystals.
Wow. Marist's cost, his list is so interesting. He just picked up a Stormwind champion.
Yeah, it's this is this makes it seem more like a Reno deck now. Like
Right.
I can't really think of a reason you would play Stormwind if it wasn't a Reno deck. I mean, it could just throw someone off. It doesn't die to BGH. It's like a decent threat, but wouldn't you rather have something like Quartermaster, which synergizes nicely with Muster? If
Right.
you are playing a deck like that. Um, but yeah, we're gonna see Koss using all of his mana now to just muster and silence off this Argent Horse Rider. Ooh, he's sitting on 15 though. Against this hand from the Shaman, I mean, you could just
Yeah.
Rockbiter with the Doomhammer.
Right. I think you do it. You get this in before he drops like a Belcher or something, and also threatens lethal for next turn. And unfortunately for Koss, he's got that heal in him, but he can't play it because he's only on 6 mana.
Yeah, well, I mean, if this is a Reno deck, now is the time
That
to
was the
try it.
time to find the Reno, and that's not it.
Yeah,
That's
man, it's
gotta
rough.
feel really bad.
I want to see more of this deck too, but
Yeah, same.
all Koss can do now is buff up one of his guys. He can't really heal. Archovsky has just enough burn damage to finish him off in this turn.
Right.
Oh, and some more. Cherry on top right there. The BM lightning bolt if he wants to.
And it looks like he is gonna go for. Wow, we're gonna go full BM here. We're gonna lightning ball our own face and lava shock the leopard gnome to finish him off.
Yeah, that checks out. I mean, 10 out of 10 BM there for Rachkovsky. But yeah, once again,
Yeah.
3-0 from Red Storm. Like, they definitely went off that game
Right.
or that series.
So yeah, I mean St. John's takes that match very decidingly, and they actually move up to top of their group with that win, and they're not gonna have to play any tiebreakers now, I believe. And unfortunately for Marist, I think that means that they're not gonna be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, I think that killed their run there. The win would have put them up in the top four, but since they
Right.
didn't get it, unfortunately, I think that's gonna be the end of the line for them.
I think that there might still be a chance. I'm not sure about the other team's scores, but Marist is one win off making it. If it happens that the other people who are also one off tie with them in score, then they might have another chance.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm not saying 100%. I'm actually not entirely sure, but 100% that does put St. John's out of tiebreakers. Yeah, they're going to playoffs. Number one seed
All
in
right.
their group.
Well done to St. John's. But yeah, that last match was really cool. I thought it was a really interesting deck. I wanted to see what else is in it. I would really have liked to see the Reno off the top because I mean the game by at that point is by no means over, right? The Shaman's
Oh yeah,
got plenty of burn in his deck, but it would have been
yeah.
cool to see more of it.
There would have been like more healing too from the Guardian, possibly other heals in the deck, but I can appreciate Koss bringing his own version of a deck. Especially like as an anchor for his team there, like when you're down 0-2 and you bring like this weird deck, you've got to be really confident in it. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to give it to Maris for the original decks, though.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. The original decks award for that series goes to them. But all right,
Right.
I guess we're going to take a quick break before we start up our next match. Um and that's going to be who's up in our our next match?
So I believe we actually have one match tonight.
Oh yeah. I was like looking at this. I'm like, wait a second, don't we have another one? But
Yeah.
oh man,
So
well
it'll be a
then,
short night from us with that quick 3-0 finish.
yeah,
But yeah, again, don't forget to check out our sponsors, CSL and Asus. If you have any kind of gameplay footage or like gameplay composition you want to submit from your school, you should do it because you have a chance to win a new Asus computer.
yeah, seems pretty sweet. We'll post the link to that in chat
Right.
soon. But yeah, once again, Thank you guys so much for watching. Short and quick series, but sometimes that's how it works out here
Right.
and in Hearthstone in general. But yeah, 3-0 performance has gotta feel good for St. John's.
Right.
If
They've
they
got
can
to feel
take,
good. They're like
yeah,
going into playoffs as first seed, and yeah,
yeah, they
it,
can take like a nice sigh of relief now. Sit back as we get there, or as they get like a week off, as playoffs coming up soon. But yeah, once again, we'd like to thank Twitch and Asus ROG for sponsoring the CSL this year. Make sure to follow our streams on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/CStarLeague and twitch.tv/CStarLeague2. And check out the Asus social medias over at @Asus_ROG. Um, and we'll be back on Friday with some more Hearthstone at 7 p.m. Pacific over on C Star League 2. Be sure to check out our social media, twitter.com/CSL Hearthstone and facebook.com/Collegiate Hearthstone. Also, we have our website, cstarleague.com. And I am Root Nomodogan on Twitter. You can find me on there. Chandyland, any other shout outs or anything you got?
not much. So I am HL Chandyland on Twitter or Chandyland on Twitch. Make sure you follow this channel for more Hearthstone. Again, we'll be back on C Star League 2 on Friday for our last cast of group stage before playoffs, and we'll be starting with the playoffs very soon.
Yeah, that's going to be Rutgers versus Penn State. In an almost deja vu scenario, Rutgers will try to hold on to their top seed, while Penn State will look to create a five-way tie in Group 8, which, wow, that would be ridiculous. But be sure to follow our channels, C Star League 2, as that's where we'll be on Friday. And after Friday, like I mentioned, we'll be on a week and a half long break as playoffs will be starting. So have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Good night.